Have you ever had to suppress laughter in a movie during a serious scene that turned out to be funny? Hey there, this week we've brought you 10 film scenes that were originally intended to be serious but ended up almost making people laugh. Before we start the video, share in the comments if you've ever had a similar experience. Number 10. Castaway. Tom Hanks' character, Chuck Noland, ends up stranded on a deserted island following a plane crash. Throughout the story, Chuck must grapple with isolation, and his only companion on the island becomes a volleyball named Wilson, with whom he forms a friendship. In a pivotal moment, when Wilson falls into the water from the raft, Chuck desperately jumps into the water and starts retrieving the ball, which can seem a bit comical at first glance.
Wilson! Wilson! Wilson!
Number 9. Psycho. A psycho thriller film was released in 1960, directed by Alfred Hitchcock. The story revolves around a young woman, Marion Crane, who steals a large sum of money and seeks refuge in a deserted motel. Here, she encounters the mysterious innkeeper, Norman Bates. In the later part of the film, when Lila Crane, Marion Crane's sister, begins to suspect that something is amiss at the Bates motel, she decides to unravel the mystery. Together with Sam Loomis, who she suspects of killing her sister, they decide to search Norman Bates's house. When Lila enters the bedroom in the house, she discovers a mostly white-clad female skeleton, accompanied by a revolving chair. When Lila touches the skeleton, it turns directly towards the camera, and despite the seriousness of the scene, this moment is quite amusing. Number 8. Conspiracy Theory. This is a thriller and action film directed by Richard Donner in 1997, starring Mel Gibson and Julia Roberts.
I don't know. I don't know what they tried, but I know. I don't know what I know, but I know, and it's big. And it just...
The story revolves around Jerry Fletcher, Mel Gibson, a taxi driver obsessed with numerous conspiracy theories. Jerry believes that the people around him are all part of conspiracies and tries to convince others of his ideas. However, when his character becomes entangled in a real conspiracy, he realizes that not all of his theories are unfounded. There's a scene where Jerry gets kidnapped, taken to a dark place, and they tape his eyes shut. And well, this scene turned out to be quite funny.
What? We've been looking for you a long time, Jerry.
Number 7. Smile. A horror and mystery film directed by Parker Finn featuring Sosie Bacon. The story revolves around Dr. Rose Cotter, a psychiatrist who has been trying for years to escape her own childhood traumas while treating society's most vulnerable members. However, Laura's mysterious case poses a new challenge. As Rose attempts to understand the terrifying delusions of the deeply disturbed young woman, unexpected and inexplicable events haunt her. Rose, after the inexplicable events involving Laura, began to perceive more and more such occurrences. One such event is when people spontaneously smile at Rose, causing the psychiatrist's disconcertion and a loss of her sense of reality. In one scene, as the psychiatrist walks past the patient's room, the patient smiles through the door, creating a more humorous than frightening effect. Number 6. Saw. The 2004 horror and crime film, directed by James Wan and written by Lee Hwannell, revolves around two men, Adam Faulkner, Lee Hwannell, and Dr. Lawrence Gordon, Carrie Elwes, who find themselves in a dark, abandoned bathroom with their ankles chained. They soon realize they are part of a series of arranged and brutally creative escape attempts, participating in a game devised by the mysterious figure known as the Jigsaw Killer. The Jigsaw Killer designs challenges that push personal moral and physical boundaries, typically targeting individuals with some criminal background. In one scene where Amanda faces the killer's choice, a puppet with a tricycle begins to approach Amanda. Despite the seriousness of the situation, it can be somewhat amusing. Number 5. Fast and Furious 6. The action film, directed by Justin Lin, released in 2013, is the sixth installment in the film series. The story continues the events of the previous films, and the crew, including Dom Toretto, Vin Diesel, and Brian O'Connor, Paul Walker, faces a new challenge. They, along with the former assassin and thief Letty Ortiz, Michelle Rodriguez, join a special agency to stop a dangerous and organized crime syndicate. Throughout the story, car races, action sequences, and spectacular chases unfold. In one scene, Letty Ortiz jumps off the top of a tank and Dom Toretto approaches her in a car. Dom, getting out of his car, tries to catch Letty, who is airborne. The scene is undeniably humorous. Number 4. Halloweentown 2. The American television film directed by Mary Lambert, released in 2001, is the second installment in the Halloweentown film series. The story continues the adventures of the Cromwell family living in Halloweentown. The protagonist, Marty Piper, Kimberly J. Brown, is now a teenager and returns to Halloweentown because the magical city is in danger. However, it soon becomes apparent that an evil witch, Kalabar, seeks revenge on the Cromwell family and uses Marty to execute his plan. There is a scene where Kalabar, the evil witch, appears on a rock and talks to Marty Piper and Aggie Cromwell. The scene is quite bizarre and amusing.
You'll get over it. And hey, I still need a date to the costume party. No, I could have stolen the book anytime.
Number 3. The Twilight Saga Breaking Dawn Part 2. The American romantic fantasy film released in 2012 serves as the final installment in the Twilight Saga. The story continues to focus on the love between Bella Swan, Kristen Stewart, and Edward Cullen, Robert Pattinson, who have tied the knot and are expecting a child. The new chapter depicts the alliance of the Cullen family and the werewolves against the Volturi, the Vampire Authority, and rulers who perceive a threat in the existence of Renesmee Cullen, the daughter of Bella and Edward. Child vampires, unable to keep their secret and jeopardizing the concealment of vampires and werewolves, prompt the intervention of the Volturi, necessitating the sacrifice of the child vampires. What turned out quite amusingly in this scene, much like every other scene in the film. Number 2. Meet Joe Black. The 1998 fantasy drama film, directed by Martin Brest, stars Brad Pitt, Anthony Hopkins, and Claire Forlani. The story follows the life of a wealthy publisher, William Parrish, Anthony Hopkins, who unexpectedly encounters death, Brad Pitt, arriving on Earth in the form of a young man to experience human life. Early in the film, Susan Parrish, Claire Forlani, the protagonist's daughter, meets the character played by Brad Pitt, portraying the young man in a cafe. After the young man and Susan bid farewell, a moment of confusion and an unexpected turn of events ensue, leading to the young man being hit by 2 cars. Due to the somewhat awkward special effects in the scene, it turned out more humorous than intended. Number 1. The Hunger Games. The American science fiction action film directed by Gary Ross was released in 2012. The story is set in a post-apocalyptic world where a totalitarian state, Panem, governs its 12 districts. Each year, a girl and a boy, chosen as tributes, participate in the Hunger Games, a televised fight to the death. 16-year-old Katniss Everdeen, Jennifer Lawrence, volunteers to protect her younger sister, Prim Willow Shields, who has been selected. However, at the critical moment, Peeta Mellark, Josh Hutcherson, is also chosen as the boy tribute from District 12 alongside Katniss. Only one of the 24 tributes, including Katniss and Peeta, can survive the deadly game. In one scene, Katniss finds Peeta camouflaging himself as a rock to avoid detection by players from other districts. This scene, too, is quite bizarre and amusing. Thank you for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Share your experiences with similar movie scenes in the comments. Until next time, goodbye.